So let us begin with, the basics of fear. In its essence, fear, the system of fear and the construct of fear and the purpose of fear is for our preservation, to protect us so that we can enjoy a long and healthy life. It's longevity. It is the preservation of our existence. So there is very good intentions around the system of fear, around the purpose of fear. And we forget that sometimes. And I think it's important to bring that back into the forefront as we move into this work, that the intentions of fear are always good. Now, what happens in the physical system when we have a trauma or a shock or an intense, fearful experience is that the nervous system, there is a full chemical response to shock, trauma, fear. And from that chemical response, there becomes an intense imbalance in the physical system. And the nervous system makes a management decision to move that energetic experience outside of the physical body in order to regulate the system, to re-regulate the system. And the energetic makeup of the experience of the trauma or of the shock or of the intense experience is moved out into the energy field, and there it stays absolutely live. Okay, as if it's alive, as if it happened 1 minute ago. And excuse me, our body then re-regulates and we carry on, we survive the experience. But that energetic construct of that experience remains in our energy body live. So whenever we meet again the experience or something similar, where any kind of combination of those chemical responses comes again, the nervous system goes into the same kind of response it did with the original trauma or the original shock. And what happens is this energetic, the energetic construct of fear is remaining live, and it is separated from us. There is a separation. There's an aspect of us that has become separated from us. And when we get triggered by something where, for me, for instance, vulnerability is one of my greatest fears. So whenever I'm put in a situation where I need to be vulnerable, the trigger comes from the original trauma. And my system is doing everything it can to stop me from moving into that dangerous zone, into that risky zone. So it's all for our good. But the reality is that I am much older now from the original experience, and I'm wiser and I've healed, and there's no need for me to be in that intense fear to stop that experience again. So the same is with all of your fears. If it's fear of a spider, if it's fear of vulnerability, it's sexual fear. We all have a lot of sexual fear. We've had a lot of sexual trauma, so there is fear there. There's a multitude of different kinds of fear, and that fear is longing to be seen, and longing to be heard, and longing to have a safe place to be expressed. It's been separated from us since the occurrence of the trauma or the shock, and it is longing through the triggers and the conversation. The current conversation is this trauma that is longing to be seen. Now, for most of us, the way that we approach fear is that we want to overcome fear. We want to get rid of fear. We want it to be out of our life so that we can get on and do the things that we would like to do in our life, that the fear is stopping us. The new teaching that I received is to see it as an energetic aspect of us that wants to sit at the table and express itself to us. It wants to be seen. It wants to have the conversation. It has been carrying this burden of experience for eternity, as long as, you know, as the original experience happened. And it is ready to release the burden of holding this on her own or on his own. And so our job as mature, spiritually mature, emotionally mature people is to be the container for our fear to express itself, for it to tell its story to us. It has spent most of, you know, its existence being rejected by us, being shut away. We've had feelings of impatience. We've been angry at our fear. We've been ashamed. There's a lot of shame around our fear. There's many quite negative emotions that have been projected onto this aspect of us that is afraid. It's simply afraid. And so the work we do is to bring the fear, that aspect of us that is afraid, bring her to the table and hold space for her to express herself. That could be the little 5-year-old, it could be the 20-year-old, it doesn't matter the age or the time. It matters what is presented to you that wants to speak with you, to tell you the story, so that the journey of the fear is that she wants to let go of the burden of carrying this, of having the responsibility all by herself to hold this experience. And by us creating a container where the aspect of us that is afraid can be seen and heard and given space and respected, and her experience honored and not rejected, and not have shame placed on her, she can then surrender into trusting us and our intuition and our more mature mechanism of feeling into our world to see if we are safe. She can surrender in and trust us to then take the lead of our life and begin to do the things that we would like to do.